Good morning, everybody. All right. This is Julian. He's 75, 80 pound Alaskan Husky. And I'm going to be working with him for the next 30 days. He has zero training. He's a rescue dog, and he's been rescued a couple of times. Mosquitoes. So we're just going to try to work with him a little bit and see what I can get him to learn quickly. He came with this spike collar on because the owners weren't able to control him. He's only been with the new owners a couple of days, and they called me that they needed help with him. So we're going to just see what happens with Julian over the next 30 days, and I'm going to record it. I like to wear hats a lot of times, especially with rescue dogs. Besides, I like wearing hats too, but a lot of dogs are bothered by hats. So I thought I'd wear a hat first thing today to see if he would react to it. He did not, and he has not. So that's not an issue. Part of the thing that I need to try to figure out with a rescue dog is if there's any issues with the dog that the dog learned from its previous owners that were not good things. Quite often rescue dogs have not been treated very well, so I have to always pay attention to that and make sure that he doesn't have any little quirks that I'm going to get hurt by. I don't know if he wants to bite me for doing certain things or not. Like I say, we just got him, so I don't know anything about him. He doesn't know anything about me. We do know that he has zero training. He doesn't respond to anything, although I did work with him, I don't know, about 10 minutes after he got here, just to see if he would respond to the sit command, and he did. So he might have some training somewhere along the way that he does remember. I don't know, but I'm going to treat this as if he has zero training and start fresh with him like as if he were a 7-week-old puppy. Even housebreaking is an issue with him. The owner, or the new owners, told me that he's been relieving himself, number one and number two, consistently in their house. So I do need to work on that as well. So I'm just going to try walking with him a little bit and see what happens, and develop things from there. This would just be a couple of minutes, nothing fancy here. Okay, Julian? Heel. Okay, Julian's a gentle giant. He doesn't seem to have any aggressiveness so far. He's very treat motivated, so that's going to be very helpful. And he does seem to be slightly submissive for being such a big old boy, huh? And that'll be helpful too, because that means he'll listen to me as well. I do want to make sure that I don't get too tough with him. Just because he's a big dog doesn't mean that you need to be tougher because he's bigger. He seems to be a little bit of a gentle giant. You saw me repeat the heel walking position several times there, and he eventually kind of fell into place. I did reward him with a treat or two. I'm going to do it again now. He did respond to the sit again. I did have to tug on the collar, but I'm going to try to do that a little bit less. Ultimately, what I want to do is I want to be able to get away from this spike collar that he came here with. And the only reason I'm not taking it off right now is because I don't know what I'm dealing with. But I don't particularly care for them and don't want him to have to deal with that going forward, if possible. Julian, is it? Well, leave it. Leave it. Sit. So there's a squirrel that just came down off the tree over there. So I can tell that he's got some prey drive. We're going to have to pay attention to that, make sure that I can keep him from that impulse. Because when a big dog like this, especially a dog of this breed type that is such a good, strong puller, you know, they're bred to be able to pull sleds in Alaska. If he sees something that he wants to chase after, or a squirrel, a deer, whatever it might be, you better be hanging on, because if this guy does pull as hard as he's capable of pulling, you're going for a ride. So we got to work on the prey drive. Again, I'm learning a little bit about him as we go along. He has not taken his eyeball off of that, so I'm going to try to change his focus with a high value treat here. Oh, good. Heel. Okay, so you see when I took my first step, I said heel, and I took my first step, he hesitated to see what I really wanted him to do. That was really a good signal right there. That means he's trying to please me. He's trying to pay attention to what it is. He doesn't know these words. He doesn't know what I'm asking him to do. So he's learning on the job right now. On the job training, I guess you could say. Heel. Julian, sit. Good boy. That was excellent. Heel. Oh. Okay, so this time I'll explain a little bit what's going on. He got into the heel position. He sat nicely when I asked him to, without me having to give him a tug. As we started to walk, he started to cross over to my right side, which could have something to do with the squirrel that he saw over on the right side, or it could have something to do with what he's learned in the past. So I want him to start to learn that he needs to stay on my left-hand side. He can't cross over. He can't pull away from me. All of that he's got to learn over the next several days. Julian, sit. Good boy. So one of the ways I'm going to keep him from crossing over is I'm going to load up with a treat in my left hand here. I'm going to let him know that I have it, but I'm not going to give it to him. Heel. Okay, again, passiveness there. I still had the treat in my left hand. He went to try to get it out of my hand a little bit, but since I didn't give it up to him, he gave up trying. So again, a little bit more of a passive behavior on his part, rather than trying to boss me into giving him the treat. A lot of dogs might get more aggressive, push me around a little bit, bark, whatever. Sit. Good boy. Good boy. Julian's going to be just fine. He's going to be just fine. You kind of like having these big dogs be a little bit passive, because if they decide to get a little bit tough with you, they could be hard to handle. Heel. Making these fast right turns requires him to pay closer attention to me. I'm giving him a little tug when I make the turn just to get his attention. Julian, sit. So I learned something there too. A truck went past our road out here, making a lot of noise, dump truck kind of vehicle. It was making a lot of noise. I'm sure you can hear it on the video. And I don't know if he was just curious on that sound or if he was bothered by it. So there's a possibility that loud sounds might bother him. I don't know. We'll see. But we're going to try that again. He did really good on the sit stay, so that tells me that he might have some kind of training there, right? Huh? Heel. Sit. Stay. Julian. Good boy. Good boy. Okay. Well, that's the first lesson for Julian, and we'll be doing many more. I'm encouraged. He's a good boy. Thank you.
Good boy.